night and continuously churning out votes. And as they have continuously churned out votes, batch after batch after batch, even if there's only 200 votes, we're going to Joe Biden by a rate of about 84, 85%. That was above what he needed. He's been overperforming. Reason why? Democratic county. Reason why? Mail-in vote. It's what we've seen across several states, and that put Joe Biden over the top. What we're waiting to see, and what we will likely see throughout the course of today, is what else is left over. A couple things here. One, my understanding, based on the math that I've been doing in my head, is Clayton County may not be done. And I think that's what Nick was talking about, that they're scanning more ballots. There may actually be a little bit more vote in Clayton County. We've seen how that goes for Joe Biden. That may pad his lead even more.
What does little mean? Just so people manage
couple hundred would be based on kind of the top back of the envelope.
Harry Enten.
About right. Maybe 500, maybe a little bit less, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, bud.
Welcome. We've seen how that goes for Joe Biden. If that comes in, it will pad his lead based on what we've seen up to this point. Democrats are also looking to Gwinnett County. It is a blue county. It has gone towards Joe Biden by about an 18-point margin. Vote by mail has been going bigger than the margins of 4,700 votes here. Another opportunity for the Biden campaign to pad their lead. We will also be watching two Republican counties. Forsyth County, a little over 1,000 votes outstanding.
We know Forsyth.
We expect to be reported. We'll see how they come in. I think the big question, both in Forsyth County, down in Lawrence County as well, is just because it's a Republican county doesn't mean necessarily that the vote is going to move heavily towards President Trump because it's mail-in ballots. We will have to watch how this plays out. If you talk to Democrats, they believed if Joe Biden overtook President Trump based on how little vote was left, it was likely a lead that would hold. We will see how that happens as this vote comes in over the course of the day.
Now, without getting too deeply into this, because we don't have to, this will be perceived differently by the two camps. Now, eventually, after an election, there won't be two camps anymore because it's getting us nowhere. The direct point is this. There will be a suggestion, here's the proof of what the president was saying. Now, I'm not going through the details of his latest litany of attacks that have come throughout the night because I can't substantiate any of it. Even Twitter is flagging the tweets of this president on this subject.
Okay, welcome everybody.
For the president to be right that this was somehow taken from him, that means a Republican governor, a Republican secretary of state, and a Republican election infrastructure decided to do their favorite candidate dirty. Does that make sense? Then follow the math. Let's take a break. When we come back, latest developments, stay with CNN.
So, I just got what he was saying. Right. He tried to come with that. It was a fix. It didn't. This is a Republican state. This is a red state, boo. So that means all your buddies that run the state basically was in. I mean, kept you from coming from a second term. I mean, with friends like that, I'm just saying. Oh yeah, Chris Cuomo. Yeah, let me tell you, I fell for Cuomo when he had tested positive for the thing for the Fanta Orange, and he still came. He was quarantined in his house. He came live every night from his house, showing the different effects. And it was a couple of nights that he did not look good at all. And he was saying that he had like a fever and was having some kind of a little trouble breathing. And then after he went through it, his wife tested positive. Then after that, the son tested positive. But I mean, this. And I really do believe that this is the main reason why we should be rid of this clown. I'm sorry. But welcome everybody to the chat. I'm watching the mom thing here, so y'all ain't missing that. Welcome everybody back over here to the chat. Welcome if you're watching via Facebook, if you're watching via Periscope and Twitter. Welcome everyone. Everybody in the chat. Shout out to the 13 in the chat. I appreciate y'all. I don't take, like I said, I take no one for granted. It could be 3 people in the chat and I will still do what I'm doing. And if y'all could be darlings and hit that thumbs up for me, I would really appreciate it. I'm just okay. I'm just saying, yeah, right now he got a 917 point lead. So Georgia right now is a blue. Yeah, can y'all tell I'm sleep deprived? But yeah. Like I said, I'll probably take a nap around 1 o'clock today. I want to follow it. Come on now. Don't act like on. Oh shoot. Oh, and the watch party starts back up on the 24th of this month for the have and the have-nots for my watch party or watchers thingy stuff. And I'm having the Versus watch party over here on the 19th. That's gonna be T.I. and Jeezy. Oh yeah, he killing them. He killing that lead in Philly too. He is killing that lead in Philly. What the hell you doing? Okay, wait a minute. Okay, they back. So we finna flip it. I'm finna bring it back.
Calm. Download the free app now.
Who is USAA made for?
At least I thought they was
A
back.
veteran who honorably served. And it's made for her. She's serving now. We also make USAA for military spouses.
Okay, wait a minute. I thought they was back. My bad, y'all. States that would never. Okay, now they back.
Watching the key battleground states all over the country, but Georgia is really the one that we're paying attention to now because the former vice president just pulled ahead for now of the president in Georgia. Let's bring in Andrew Yang, SC Cup, and John Avalon. So good to have you here. Since we last saw each other in the wee hours this morning or yesterday morning, a lot has changed, SC. What do you think? How are Republicans feeling about this now?
Well, this has to be very disconcerting. I think a lot of people didn't think, certainly Democrats hoped that Georgia would be in play. I don't think a lot of Republicans embraced that idea. I think Republicans believed in the demographics of Georgia remaining the same, and they have changed. They have changed under our feet. You know, you live there, we visit there because we've got a big bureau there. And so we know the demographics have changed. The voters there have changed. And I think when you look at, you know, elections like Ossoff versus Perdue, you have the tendency to think, well, the demographics haven't changed. It's still a red state. That could say more actually about the infrastructure of someone like David Perdue and the Republican Party. Same for Lindsey Graham in South Carolina. He won, maybe not because that state is as red as it used to be, maybe because he's an election machine. Same Mitch McConnell. I think in Georgia, you have to acknowledge whatever happens in what will probably be a special election, those demographics have changed. And
it's going to be a runoff, those two runoffs.
But it's almost, I think, in Ron Brownstein, I was talking to Ron Brownstein about this earlier, but when you look at the metro centers, right, it's almost like an earthquake, and then you have the bands that drift out into the suburbs. And that's what's happening pretty much if you look at the battleground states in almost every metropolitan area around the country. But it happened in the presidential race, but not necessarily in the congressional races or the Senate races.
In the state races, that's right. And look, I mean, there are lots of reasons for that. On the House level, there's the additional burden of gerrymandering, which makes it more difficult to flip seats. But look, you know, as we talk about red states and blue states, and even in the Deep South, what we know is that actually the deeper divisions in politics are urban versus rural. And the South, cities in the South have been voting Democrat by increasing margins as their demographics in the state change, as people
But you couldn't tell these assholes that.
In play. But nobody at the beginning of this cycle thought Georgia would be in play. People were put in the same bucket as Texas. That's a pipe dream.
But doesn't that scare the folks that the president was trying to get to turn out, the folks who live in the rural areas, people who are afraid of the changing demographics of this country?
That has been the theory of the case.
Is that not a motivation to them?
That has always been the theory of the case. And if you look at where Donald Trump has campaigned, and past races, that has always been an inflammation point. But consider this: Joe Biden is the first Democrat to win, non-Southern Democrat to win Georgia since JFK. And the politics in that era were totally different. And Bill Clinton and Jimmy Carter peeled it off. Jimmy Carter from Georgia.
Yeah.
So it's significant that Joe Biden has done this with Kamala Harris on the ticket. This is, it's a razor thin margin, people. But this is extraordinary.
But this is also why folks during the Democratic primary thought someone like Joe Biden is better positioned to potentially go after places like Georgia versus someone like Elizabeth Warren, for example. This was sort of the dream, the fever dream, and that it might become a reality today, I think validates those impulses to choose a more moderate candidate.
I sort of say last to talk to you, not last, but please, because there's so much to talk to you about here. First, I want to ask you real quickly, did you ever think we'd be in this position with Georgia, what's happening in the Philadelphia,
this is crazy,
Atlanta, and so on?
Hey, DJ Cat, what's up, girl?
That
what's
Georgia
up, girl?
Would flip
Yeah,
blue.
you see
Credit
that?
to Stacey Abrams for helping make it happen and make sure that votes
You
are
see that?
counted in Georgia. America, if you wanted to take a break from politics, I've got some tough news for you because because everyone's eyes are going to be on Georgia for the next 2 months. You're going to have two special Senate races that could determine the balance of power in the Senate.
We're going
Because
to
if it
talk
goes
about that.
50-50, then Kamala's the tiebreaker and you have a Democratic Senate. So
I want to talk
hundreds of
about that.
millions of dollars are going to get spent.
But it's not just that. We're going to have probably some litigation, a lot of litigation from races around the country, from the president and Republicans. We're going to have to see what happens if Joe Biden actually indeed becomes a winner. If this president is going to hand him the keys to the station wagon, right? We're going to have to deal with that. We're going to deal with the special election. And we've got to deal with the balance of power. And so you're right. I think a lot of money,
so much money
is going to
Joe Biden is the president.
Georgia. We're going to be watching.
And there is a way we could have been spared this, where if you're concerned about polarization in the United States of America, which I believe we all should be, if you'd had ranked choice voting in these Georgia races, then we would be spared these special elections that are happening in January. Ranked choice voting, it encourages civility, it diminishes extremism.
Can you
Can
you briefly explain what it is? Because you posted this, right? And a lot of people on my feed were like, sounds great, what is it?
We got to do it quick because we got to get back.
Sure thing. Ranked choice voting, you rank your favorite candidates, and if your first choice doesn't win, it goes to your second choice until someone gets over 50%.
And that happened with Susan Collins. That happened with Susan Collins.
Then jazz hands.
I mean, think about this. Think about where we are now. Georgia, right now, the former vice president is ahead of the current president, who is a Republican. Former vice president, obviously a Democrat, head of a Republican in Ruby Red, Georgia, by 917 votes at 5:21 on a Friday morning. Who would have thought we would be here? And more votes are coming in. We know that because we've seen the live shot in Philadelphia at the polling place. We've seen the live shot in Georgia at the polling place. So who knows what's going to happen next? And maybe Pennsylvania. There's Pennsylvania right now, Philadelphia. Maybe Pennsylvania will be next.
Joe Biden
is
the president.
The former vice president's favor. We'll see. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
And I'm back, y'all.
We all
and it's blue, y'all. And it's blue, y'all. And it's blue, y'all. And it's blue. And it's bluer than blue. And it's blue. I can't tell I ain't had no sleep. But yeah. Let me see. Can I do this? Let me share this with y'all. I hope I can still get in here. Thank you, everybody. Welcome, everybody that's coming in. Welcome, y'all that's watching from different platforms. I really appreciate y'all being up on this Friday morning with me. But I just had to come on and what the fuck? Wait a minute. Where am I? Okay, wait a minute. I gotta log in with my dumb ass. Okay, that might help. That might help. But yeah, it's as for now, Georgia is blue. And this is gonna get real interesting. You can't say nobody cheated because this is, like they said, this is a Republican state, so that would mean that your boys was in on the cheap. So yep, you lost. Deal with it. Deal with it. Okay, now I go right. I want to share this little thing I had did with. Let's go. No, my stuff. I don't care about Jason Derulo. You got issues. I'm not trying to follow him. I'm trying to go to my page on here. Y'all ain't missing nothing. Y'all are not missing anything. And from what I understand, they said it's still some more votes got to come from Clayton County. There's a couple of hundred that got to come from Clayton County. Exactly. And plus we got it's gonna be 2 runoff elections here. So this might be what we need. This might be what we need, because I think even if I think the Dems will have to pick up 3. Yeah, it is. Right. 917, but it's still more votes got to be counted. And a couple of those counties that they got that is coming from are Democratic counties. And even what we know, because I even picked up that, even in the Republican counties, Biden will still go getting about 20, 25, 30% of the votes there. So he's averaging 85 to 90% in the Democratic counties, and they still got to get some more votes from there. They still got some, I think 2 or 3 more Democratic counties that they hadn't added to it yet. This is just from Clayton County, and from they saying, and it's still about 400-500 more votes got to come from Clayton County, and that's a Democratic county, and that's what did this shift. I don't know why. Okay, they back. So I'm gonna come out here and I'm gonna put my sound back in so we can.
We'll see, but there is more vote coming in there that could pad Joe Biden's lead. We'll see. Pennsylvania, we've also been watching. Why? If Joe Biden wins Pennsylvania, this election is over. So what is happening right now? The lead is down to 18,229 votes. It has been coming down. We are awaiting more vote. We don't know when, so we're watching it. Let's figure out how we got here. Let's go to the magic wall and Phil Mattingly. Look, you called it early in the night. We had to watch Georgia. Why were we watching, and what made the difference?
Well, we were watching Georgia because we knew what vote was outstanding. We knew where it was coming from, largely vote by mail, and we knew that Joe Biden had an opportunity to surpass Donald Trump. That has occurred. It's not a matter of if with Pennsylvania right now. It's a matter of when. Right now, Donald Trump is up 18,229 votes. If you look at the map, you are seeing a similar pathway here in Pennsylvania, also similar to what we saw in Wisconsin, in Michigan. Donald Trump started with a huge lead. Why? Because Pennsylvania counts the early vote first. And the early vote went very heavy towards President Trump. It did in multiple states throughout the country. Then they started counting the mail-in ballots. And when they counted the mail-in ballots, it has come in huge for Vice President Biden. What is left outstanding are Democratic strongholds, and it's all mail-in ballots. And again, mail-in ballots across the country, especially in Pennsylvania, have leaned heavily Democratic. So what is left outstanding? Look down here, southeastern Pennsylvania. Philadelphia being the anchor there, but push out into the suburbs as well. That is going heavily Democratic. You see the blue, and it's also got a lot of vote outstanding, about 160,000 total ballots in the state, we think, right now. And right now, as we push forward and look around what's left in the state, Joe Biden has an advantage in terms of where the vote is outstanding, how the vote was actually cast, vote by mail. If you're the Biden campaign, you look at this 18,000 vote lead for Donald Trump right now, and you're saying not only are we going to surpass that, we're going to surpass that by a decent amount. Now, we're still waiting for it to be counted, and we're waiting for it to be reported.
Why?
It has been slow over the last couple of hours, but I'll just give you one example. Philadelphia right now, still 8% outstanding. You look at that margin, 80% to 18%, rounded up 81% to 19%. Philadelphia's mail-in ballots have been coming in somewhere between 85 and 88% for Biden. So not only is it a big margin, and if Joe Biden holds that margin, he surpasses easily Donald Trump with what's left over in Philadelphia, but he's doing better than this margin. That's what you're watching for this morning. Georgia has flipped blue. We'll see if that holds. Georgia has flipped blue. Pennsylvania is on track to do the same thing at some point this morning.
So to bring in Don Lemon here, Phil is saying it's not if, it's when. When goes to, well, when do we start seeing more vote out of Pennsylvania? We're being patient because we want these people to do the job the right way, but that's what we're waiting on, Don.
We got the perfect guest for that, Chris. So you guys stand by and listen to this, and maybe you want to chime in as well. Al Schmidt is here. He is a Philadelphia City Commissioner responsible for elections there. Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate you joining us. As we're speaking now, you see the vote totals changing in Georgia and also in Pennsylvania. So we're looking at a live picture now, 5:21 a.m., Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and that's where the votes are being counted. So first thing, are we going to see any more ballots coming in soon?
Yes, our last report was around 1 a.m. this morning, and we've been counting for the past several hours. And I expect you'll see another update in the next hour or two.
In the next hour or two, you think we'll get it? So sometime between now and 7:30 a.m., right? How many votes?
I can't say just yet.
Okay. All right. So we have been watching these votes come in from Philadelphia through the night, and it's helping Joe Biden close the gap. You heard where Phil Mattingly said that they were coming in, a lot of them from the Democratic strongholds in the southeast and southeastern part of the state, which includes Philadelphia. So how long before the counting is complete, you think?
Well, the counting in Philadelphia has continued uninterrupted from the beginning. We had a brief pause yesterday for about 2 hours as a result of some litigation, but it's just critically important that we continue counting every eligible vote cast by voters in Philadelphia. We got about 360,000 total mail-in ballots in Philadelphia. We've counted about a little over 306,000, around 306,000, and at 50-some thousand yet to report. And as I've said, we've been counting for the past few hours, and we'll have another update for you shortly.
Okay, so listen, all 50,000, there's 50,000 in the next couple of hours. Let me just go through the numbers here because I just looked them up. So you said it was let's see, its own site showing there in Philadelphia about 305, 939 votes counted. That's the almost 400,000 that you talked about, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and just to clarify, we have about 50,000 left to report. We will have an update in the next couple of hours. That's not the full 50,000 that I know, but I can't say just yet how many that'll be.
Okay, that was my next question then. Would it be all the 50,000? And you cannot, why can't you say that? Is it just you don't know, or you're being coy, you'd rather not? Why can't you?
Well, we all have,
You're being cautious.
it's important that we all do
I hope
this
I
in the
catch
right
this before.
way, and that we report information in the official channels like we always do.
And do you
Welcome
agree that
everybody
they're gonna
just
come
coming
from
in.
the Democratic strongholds, correct?
Yes.
That's what Phil said.
For right now,
Well, in Philadelphia
Georgia is
County,
blue.
Applications for mail-in ballots were roughly 16-1 Democratic to Republican.
Okay.
And while not
Yep.
everybody votes, their party affiliation, the results have certainly skewed that way.
Okay. Let's talk about what we heard from the president not too many hours ago, out saying last
Joe
night that votes there in
Biden is
Philadelphia
the
should be thrown out
president.
because observers
Ooh, child.
haven't been able to do their jobs there his tweet has already been labeled misleading. You are a Republican. You have been there every single day. You actually helped out with how this would all work. Give us the truth, please, Commissioner.
Well, my party affiliation doesn't and shouldn't affect what's true and what is not true. Observers from the Democratic Party and Republican Party, from the Biden campaign and the Trump campaign, have been in our counting area observing right up against where the process is taking place from the very beginning on election morning when we began this.
So observers have been there the entire time, including Republicans?
The entire time.
So then what is this dispute? Why are Republicans saying this? Not all, but some. Why then is the president saying this if observers from both the Republican Party and the Democratic Party have been there the entire time?
I can't really speak to what their motives might be. I do know that we went to federal court yesterday and a federal judge agreed with our position. You know, we want to make sure that that campaigns and parties have the transparency that they are deserve and obliged to have in the Pennsylvania Election Code. I would also add that we have a live stream on our election counting process 24 hours a day.
Yep.
And if you have trouble sleeping, you should take a look at it. It's very calming. It's very mechanical, methodical, and going on. Although I doubt any of us are going to have trouble sleeping.
Okay, listen, I've got to run, but real quickly, what do you want people to know out there? Because there are a lot of concerned people, both Democrats and Republicans. You got the president's supporters saying, you know, that this is, they're listening to the president. This is somehow a fraudulent process. And then you have Democrats worried that their rightful votes may be taken away.
You know, all these election boards in the country, including ours, have to just stay focused on our job, continue counting votes. It does feel sometimes a little like you're under siege right outside. Last time I joined you from our counting room floor, now it looks like I'm joining you almost from an undisclosed location somewhere, which is just my office here. But just so many people working so hard to count the votes of voters who cast eligible votes on or before election day.
Thank you, Commissioner Al Schmidt. We appreciate it. And viewers, you heard from Al Schmidt there. He is saying there are about 50,000 votes left to be counted there. We should know something in about 2 hours, within 2 hours. Not all of the 50,000, he said, but he wouldn't tell us how many. So things are changing in real time here. And if you're just waking up, probably went to bed seeing some numbers, and now they're all different. Joe Biden has now pulled ahead in Georgia, ahead of the president, and there's still a very small margin with Trump leading in Pennsylvania. We'll be right back.
Oh, he's gonna be mad, y'all. He's gonna be so upset. He's gonna be inconsolable. He's gonna be angry, you know. Okay, let me see the chat, because while I'm doing that, I'm editing white dude trying bless his Lord. But yeah. That is crazy that it had to come down to this. It says a lot about this country, about the character of this country, that it is this close. I'm just saying. I mean, with the dumb shit that he done said, with all of the dumb shit he done did, the way he done mishandled this damn crisis. Wait a minute, what is Brandon saying? He gonna turn into the Incredible Cheeto. I don't give a damn. He can go turn into that back in that White House and start packing y'all shit. America just said, this is my house. We pay the bills and kiss my. You know what? You don't like it? Get the fuck out. That's what the country is saying. Oh, I can't imagine the memes. Memes. They go. Oh my God. Mango Unchained, you're fired. That's what the country said. You're fired. Oh, Lord. I'm sorry, y'all. But like I said on election day, I had so much anxiety about this damn election because I'm like, if this asshole get back in here. Oh, okay. I got footage. I'm gonna bring out live footage of Mango Unchained from the White House. This is this is the president right now here at 5:39 a.m. from the White House, being a little bitch baby. Being the big bitch baby that he is. Oh, you mad? Oh, you mad? I'm just saying. Yeah. Donna Earl, you're fired. Good evening. I'm back, y'all. Ooh. Oh, Lord. Yep, that's what it felt like. That's what it was feeling like. And we're clean. We've been given the good bill of health straight up. Okay? Oh, bitch, you heard? Okay, why you motherfuckers trying to mess my limit your ass? Oh, bitch, you heard? Oh. Okay, back. I'm still watching y'all, but yeah. Why y'all see y'all doing too much? These new pages be doing too much. Ain't the okay. What am I doing? Oh. I thought I did this one. Okay. I think they're getting ready to come back, so I'm finna bring it back on the screen. Oh my God. He done filed all these lawsuits that they got thrown out. And you know the taxpayers, we paying for that, you know. I'm like, you ooh, little bitch baby. Okay, wait a minute. They're back. Wait a minute. I'm gonna bring the sound back in, y'all.
A better idea of how much.
Yeah, and I think those are the two important items here. We know that Philadelphia is going to report sometime in the next hour and a half. We don't know how much they're going to report, but we know what's left. And we know what's left is 50,000 votes. So you just want to do some back of the envelope math here when you're looking at where Pennsylvania stands. President Trump right now up by 18,229 votes. Philadelphia right now has an outstanding vote, all absentee ballots, of 50,000 votes. So you look at this margin right now, 80.5% to 18.6%. Let's say out of that 50,000 votes, you put that margin into those 50,000 votes. You would say, based on that, Joe Biden would net 30,000 votes out of that group if you're going 80-20. And what I want to say here
Good morning,
is
Tars.
80-20 in
Good
Philadelphia
morning.
right now in the mail-in ballots is conservative. We've seen the Philadelphia reporting over the course of the night. The last batch came in sometime around 1 a.m. was somewhere between 86-87% for Joe Biden. So we're being conservative when we do this kind of back of the envelope, top of the head math. If Joe Biden nets 30,000 votes just in Philadelphia, and keep in mind, there is still outstanding mail-in ballots being tabulated right now in the other blue counties surrounding it, the collar counties. 30,000, when you're trailing by 18,229, not a math major,
right?
But that will give Joe Biden a lead, and a solid lead that is only, if you look at what's still outstanding in this area right here, if you know there's still 36,000 votes to be counted in Pittsburgh, and those votes have been going 78% to Joe Biden. That gives him a 13,000 vote lead with all of that outstanding still, probably about roughly 100,000 ballots left outstanding in the entire state. this is why we've been talking about this all night. I've been a little bit forward on this in terms of where Pennsylvania is going, likely over the course of the next couple of hours, because I and my good friend Harry over there, we've been trying to work through this thing. It makes pretty clear the pathway we're about to follow in the next couple of hours.
Tell us.
There ain't no way that Joe Biden doesn't take the lead in Pennsylvania based upon what is left in Philadelphia. Right?
Why so confident?
Why I'm so confident? For exactly the reasons that Phil is talking about, right? You have 50,000 votes there. You got Joe Biden, who's netting, 60-point margin of those votes. It should jump him out based upon that math, even if you were conservative, right? A 60-point margin, 80 to 20, just based on all of Philadelphia. And we know the mail-in votes lean even more Democratic than the overall Philadelphia population. It should net him, say, 30,000 votes being conservative. And right now, the margin in the state of Pennsylvania for Donald Trump is 18,229. And I wouldn't be surprised based upon what I think is.
See. Now, bitch boy, boyfriend messing with the thing.
Math holds that
Okay.
Joe Biden ends up with a margin in the state of Pennsylvania. Again, if it holds, a 50,000 to 100,000 vote margin in the state of Pennsylvania to me seems quite doable based on the math that is out there.
So why wouldn't it hold?
So, well, let me show you where Harry's getting that from first. Okay. So we went through Philadelphia. Let's go next door to Philadelphia, Delaware County. There's 9% hanging out here. I think about 9,000 votes, maybe 9,000 ballots. Again, trying to go off the top of my head. You look at that margin there. The margin has been more generous to Joe Biden in the mail-in ballots. So that's Delaware County. You come up here, still 5% left in Chester. That's obviously blue. You still have 5% left in Montgomery. So a little bit here. It's not a huge amount of vote. We're talking 4,000 or 5,000 votes here. Still a little bit in Bucks, a little bit of a tighter margin here. But Bucks has moved heavily Democratic as they have started counting mail-in ballots. Bucks was leading Trump, was a President Trump lead yesterday at this point in time, and now it is blue. So that's where Harry's getting it from. He's going through where the vote is outstanding.
That's
Vote is
former
outstanding
president, sir.
strongholds,
Former
and-
president Mango
and
Unchained.
The vote is all vote by
Former
mail. So to
President
your
Mango
question, if you are
Unchained.
President Trump and you're looking at the state of Pennsylvania right now, what is your hope? Well, you look at where there's still vote outstanding, and there's not a ton left. And you're looking at the red. Here's the problem: the red, even the vote by mail, is coming in Democratic. So you've got problems with the Trump campaign, but have to count, have to wait and see. We'll see what comes in over the course of the next couple hours.
An exhaustive analysis, and thank you. The short answer is Pennsylvania may change hands and do so in the next few hours. What a night we've had. Let's see what happens next together.
You want immune support you can trust.
Well, there we have
At
it.
Nature's Way, that starts with quality
Wait a minute.
ingredients, like our Sambucus. Made
Okay, y'all. Yeah. Oh, probably the little bitch, baby. Oh. But yeah, welcome everybody that's coming in. If you're just coming in, yes, you read it correctly. Biden has taken the lead in Georgia. So for now, Georgia is blue. If it stays blue, boo-hoo for you, Mango Unchained, because you can't win without Georgia. Like I said, former President Mango Unchained. Oh, they ain't gonna do no. Oh my God. You know, he said if he lost, there wasn't gonna be no Christmas, so they ain't gonna decorate the White House. I can just imagine what these clowns gonna do. But I forgot who I was watching. They brought up a good point, because we know this thing ain't gonna go willingly. So my thing is, like they said, once President Joe Biden takes the oath, he's the president. So the Secret Service no longer works for Mango Unchained. So now you can leave voluntarily or involuntary, being getting drugged out of here by that toupee on your head. You know, I wouldn't be telling the truth if I didn't say I was a little scared for this country when those results started coming in, especially on election night. And I looked and I'm like, oh my God. And then this asshole came out here and saying this is a prime example of not counting your chickens before they hatch. Because, you know, he came out, we won bigly. We won real bigly. We won Georgia. We won Florida. We won this. We have huge leads. Huge. And the crooked Democrats, they're trying to steal the election. And then his dumbass son gonna get up there and show himself showing a video of gonna post the video of alleged votes being burned. And I'm like, really? They hurry up and snatch that down. Untrue information, they flagged it, then they snatched it down. I'm like, yes. Get them two douchebags up out of there. You take your mail, the first mail order hoe, get her ass up out of there. Get your daughter wife, take her up out of there. Y'all get the hell well, Kellyanne already gone with her Skeletor looking ass. Wait a minute. Oh Lord, they done had a shooting in downtown Atlanta. What the hell? GBI calls a police shooting. And see, now this is what. Okay, I think they're getting ready to come back. Let me see. So are they gonna go ahead and get him those points? But they still hadn't given him the points for the votes for. They still have given him the votes for
when they
Arizona
wake up this morning and they see what has changed overnight. Let's discuss with Errol Lewis, Margaret Talev, and Alex Burns. Good to see each and all. Margaret, what do we know about how the president and his team are dealing with the news about Georgia changing hands and Pennsylvania getting dangerously close to the same fate?
Well, Chris, good morning. A lot has changed overnight, but of course the president and his team could see a lot of this coming last night. And so you may have been watching the president at the podium last night and thinking, what is going on over at the White House? My colleague Jonathan Swan has some overnight reporting that shows that behind the scenes, just before President Trump went out there and made several baseless claims about election integrity, there are recriminations, concerns, angst, fear, frustration, both among White House staff, the campaign, and many of those surrogates who you see usually go out on TV and support the president. There's tremendous frustration inside Trump world at Fox News, both for calling those Arizona results early and setting a tone on election night, and also intense frustration and fear last night. They're concerned that Fox might actually be the one to call the race for Biden overall. No one has done that yet. These numbers are moving, of course, as we speak, but that's the real frustration. Because,
well, he got a wall. He got that blue wall.
To call it would be tremendously bad for optics, which, as we know, is really important to the president. And these surrogates, when they look back at George W. Bush's time in 2000, remembering James Baker being the face out in front, a really credible voice who could reach across the partisan aisle. These surrogates saying, now having Rudy Giuliani and Pam Bondi and Corey Lewandowski as your version of Jim Baker are also maybe not what the country wants to see. So a lot of unraveling behind the scenes.
You know, Errol, first of all, Margaret, thank you very much for sharing that with us. And thank you, colleague, as well. Errol, let's take another step down crazy town here for 1 second, because this isn't just your run-of-the-mill President Trump pernicious lie where he's trying to tear something down. This is, by definition, seditious. This is the president saying, you should not trust this. You should be angry. It is intentionally against me. And by the way, correlation is not causation. But then what do we find in Philadelphia, the same place that was worried about having more Trump folk too close to the people counting ballots? A Humvee is detained by authorities. They find a weapon and they arrest somebody who wanted to get into the polling center, and not for good reason. Just how high on the list of bad acts is what we heard from the president last night.
Well, it is historic. It's really very far beyond the usual kind of mistruths that we hear from the White House. This is really dangerous territory, as you suggest. It's also an interesting challenge to news organizations. I mean, I was struck by the fact that the broadcast networks cut away from the president as he was speaking about a very important topic in real time. I think a lot of folks have really decided that this is just not worth giving the benefit of the doubt to somebody who has abused that doubt, has abused that benefit over and over and over again. I don't know if he expected or wants to see disruption at the polls. It would certainly, I think, lend some credence to his otherwise baseless claims if he felt that, a lot of people, as the president likes to say, think that the election was stolen. Now, he was telegraphing this for weeks. We knew exactly what was going to happen. We knew that there are mail-in ballots that happen routinely in many, many states, probably most states, actually. And a lot of that is by operation of state law, so that nothing illegal is happening. He has nevertheless chosen to try and divide people and act as if something is happening that is illegal. And he said it only, he really telegraphed it again, Chris. He said weeks ago that if he was behind, if it looked like he was losing, this would be his tactic. And we're watching it play out in real time. Very unfortunate.
As the name of the podcast goes, you decide. And he decided to go after early voting as illegitimate and waved his people away from it. And now he can thank that for not having the ability to compete in early voting, mail-in voting with people who wanted to vote for Joe Biden. So that, Alex Burns, that takes us to what's the next step? What can he do if his theory is the only way I get to add here is by subtracting from Biden, and that means getting rid of his votes?
Well, Chris, based on what we know now, the answer is he can't do very much. That there have been all of these lawsuits filed over the last couple of days. None of them seems to carry much weight legally, and they've gotten a pretty chilly reception in the court so far. He can request recounts. They've already, the Trump campaign has already said they will do that in Wisconsin, but you're looking at a margin of more than 20,000 votes in that state. And when there was a recount there 4 years ago, it changed 131 votes in the presidential race. So not much for him to work with there. The litigation that we were so focused on before Election Day in Pennsylvania, where the president and Republicans were stepping in to try to stop the counting of certain mail-in ballots, all concerned ballots that arrived after Election Day. So those are not even the votes that we're talking about right now in Pennsylvania. So the president doesn't have a whole lot of options, and that's why I think you are hearing this focus from him and his allies, as Margaret was describing, on the optics of this fixation on who is calling what states and when strikes me as almost totally misguided, because a television network saying that a state has gone for Joe Biden is not what makes the state go for Joe Biden. The votes are what make a state go for Joe Biden. And right now, it doesn't look like, based on the map that we have in front of us, like the president has enough votes or enough pathways to get votes in order to change the tide of the election.
Alex Burns, Margaret Talev, Errol Lewis, thank you to each and all, and appreciate living a day in history with all of you. The vote is still taking shape. The moment that we get new results, and we just got flagged by a Pennsylvania official that they may happen on our watch, we'll tell you as well. Let's take a quick break.
If he
Stay with
flips,
CNN.
if they go ahead and flip,
Find your rhythm, your happy place.
if they go ahead and flip
Find your breaking
Pennsylvania,
point.
it's really over.
Then break it.
It is really over. I'm just saying. But yeah, I'm that come on Wednesday, right? That sisters. I gotta give me something to drink. But Joe Biden is the president. And I'm gonna tell y'all where I got that from. Well, we'll be back on the 24th, baby. That song, that little song that I be just be singing. I got that from this show on I want to say it's Showtime, called Cartoon President. It is a trip. Let me see. What did he tweet? Pitiful. But let me see. He must be in the bed. They must gave him a tranquilizer, hit him with a tranquilizer gun. This is crazy. Okay. Let me see what they said. 10,000 ballots still remain to be counted in Georgia as Biden takes lead over Mango Unchained. Okay. So here's the thing, though. Like I said, you still got some Democratic counties to count, and even we still got Democrat votes coming in from Democratic counties and the Republican counties. But even with the Republican counties, I think Biden been getting between 18 to 25% of those votes too. So, and then with the extra Democratic votes that got to come in, we're good. We're good. Okay. I mean, look, but I was concerned about this country. I'm like, why is this so close? It's the South. I'm like, we shouldn't have to go through all this. Wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Wait.
We have breaking election news overnight. Good morning. I'm Chris Cuomo with the one and only Don Lemon. If you're just getting up now, it's 6 a.m. in the East on this Friday, November 6th, getting ready for breakfast. How about a plate of Biden took the lead in Georgia with a side dish of Pennsylvania may change hands and very soon. What do you think, Don?
And can you believe that? We just had an election commissioner on from Philadelphia who said we should get some new vote counts, maybe within the hour, so it could happen right on our watch here. And I'm hearing it could be very significant when it comes to this race. So we will see a lot of votes still out there. They're still being counted, but a lot has changed overnight. And you know that's the truth because we've been here watching.
Oh, yeah. A group of our fellow citizens that can only be described as Americans have been working through the night and delivering votes in batches of hundreds that made a difference in Georgia, changed the state of the race, and now Pennsylvania is on the verge of a big change as well. So let's bring you the latest numbers. This is your 6 a.m. key race alert. All right, let's start with Georgia. 16 electoral votes. Why does this state matter? If Donald Trump wants to be our president again, he must win Georgia if he wants to be president through the electoral college.
So Biden got a
Joe Biden overnight took the lead, 1,096 votes.
So that
statistical dead heat, certainly in recount territory, but there is enough vote left in the state, and we'll show you in a few moments where that could pad that lead and maybe keep Biden in control. We'll have to see. Also, Pennsylvania, 20 electoral votes. Very important. Why? If Joe Biden wins Pennsylvania, this race is over. It would be a dispositive move.
Right, because he already at 253.
Right now, though, the president up by 18,229 votes. 95 estimated vote is in. Deceptive statistic. Why? Because the remaining vote that is out is more than enough to change the state of play. We just had one of the local officials on that suggested we may be getting more information and soon. So we are very fortunate to have Kate Baldwin in Philadelphia, where we're expecting
welcome everybody coming
news.
in.
Good to see you, my friend. Nice to share a day in history
like they said.
with you.
as
Good
of
morning, good night, whichever it is.
4:30
It's time
this
to wake
morning,
up because today
Georgia is
there's
blue.
a lot of movement that will be happening this morning, friends. They are still counting here in Philadelphia, the largest county in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. The latest numbers here, the key numbers are there is about 53,000 votes that are still left to be counted. Now, we've been tracking increases. Overnight, there have been increases of something like in the realm of several thousand when they've been uploading new results of more ballots being counted. That's something obviously we are keeping a very close eye on. And as one of the city commissioners, one of the people in charge that knows the most, was just speaking with you guys a short time ago, they do expect, as Commissioner Al Schmidt said, they're expecting some more information to be coming out. It would not, the way things are looking, it would not be surprised if they wrap up the count here in Philadelphia at some point today, if not even this morning. One person we spoke with, one person involved that we've spoken with quite a bit, said as of last night, they are calling it a full court press to get this done. But of course, there are a lot of factors that go into that. You have human beings in this space beside me, behind me, in this convention center, who are doing the arduous task and labor-intensive task of getting the ballot from out of the envelope to the scanner to get that number uploaded, to have the most accurate count uploaded to their website. That's Philadelphia. There's also Bucks County, which is another key area that we've been tracking all along. This is the most competitive of the suburban counties outside of Philadelphia. Everyone has had their eyes on this. I believe Hillary Clinton won the county in 2016 by 3,000 votes. It has been tight. The latest numbers there is that they are just shy of 11,000 ballots that they still have to count. A note from a Bucks County official yesterday was that as they've been tracking the mail-in ballots that are coming in, they have trended to be about 77% for Joe Biden as they have been counting them. Overall, the Commonwealth is looking at about 163,000 mail-in ballots to be counted, 6.2% of what was received. We are expecting to get numbers anytime now. We are tracking that throughout the morning. But again, things are moving here in Pennsylvania. They have been working hard, and they know that today is Friday. It is 3 days after the election. This is the final day when those mail-in ballots could be received per state law, and they're moving. Don, Chris.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Kate,
Because they
you
did
were in
have
the
3
right
days
place, and
after.
Thank you for that massive download of information. Appreciate it. Stand by. Now let's go to the Magic Wall with Phil Mattingly. Here's what's so exciting about what Kate is reporting, at least to me. Give me your thoughts. Not only is vote coming from an area in Pennsylvania, that Philadelphia area, which is rich for the Democrats, but there's so much vote left that not only could it motivate Joe Biden to meet the president's lead, but to exceed it in a way that may put it out of reach.
Yeah, so let's actually dig in on that. Right now, as it currently stands, Donald Trump hanging on to an 18,229 vote lead. What are you talking about specifically here? You're talking about Philadelphia, where Kate was just speaking from, where we were told that there's about 50,000 votes outstanding. With an 18,000 vote lead, let's do the math using this margin. If Joe Biden wins those 50,000 mail-in ballots, which would be conservative based on what we've seen come in over the course of the last day or two, if he wins those 50,000 votes by 80%, he would end up netting in the city of Philadelphia, also Philadelphia County, same thing. He would end up netting 30,000 votes just in Philadelphia. If Joe Biden nets 30,000 votes, Joe Biden is in the lead in the state of Pennsylvania
By over 10,000.
by over 10,000 votes. And that's not all. What else is left outstanding? Look at all the blue in
yeah, I
Southeast
did see
Pennsylvania.
that.
Obviously, you have Philadelphia. Then you move over to Delaware County. I'm told by a native of Delaware County, I can call it Delco. I'm not from there, so I wasn't sure if I could use that term. Delco.
Well, you just did.
I just did.
I hope it's safe for you.
They're reporting 100%. We'll have to see what's going on. We knew there was about 8,000 votes there. Keep ticking up. You go through here. They're starting to show, interesting, they're starting to show 100% reporting there. What we know coming out of Southeast Pennsylvania is there's more outstanding vote. That vote is mail-in ballots. It's coming from a place where Joe Biden has had comfortable margins. Kate was just talking about Bucks County. This was by far the closest county here. And yet, you look at that margin, doesn't seem astronomical. However, Bucks County over the course of the last 24 hours has moved heavily in Joe Biden's direction. Why? because they are counting mail-in ballots. Mail-in ballots are leaning heavily Democratic, even in Republican strongholds, especially in places in Southeast Pennsylvania. The reality right now in the state of Pennsylvania, which I would note is the most crucial state outstanding right now. If Joe Biden wins this state, Joe Biden is president of the United States. There's no other way around it. That's
Joe
20 electoral
Biden
votes.
is
He's
the
at 253. The reality in Pennsylvania.
I'm gonna show
is it is
y'all
not
where
a
I got
matter
that
of
from.
If Joe Biden is going to overtake Donald Trump, it is a matter of when. The biggest question right now, two things. One, how much vote in that can Joe Biden take of that 160,000 that's left outstanding? And two, is there anything Donald Trump can do to stop what has been a pretty fast-moving train heading his direction over the course of the last 24 hours?
Well, we know what he's trying to do. I mean, he has been up all night, and the more the vote has moved, the more virulent and violent the president has gotten in his tweeting, such that Twitter has been flagging like every other thing that he says because it's so wildly off.
Oh, that's why I can't get
the
nothing.
urgency.
So they
is
done
not
probably
missing
blocked.
him. Harry Enton,
Yes.
what
sir.
is your analysis of where we are and where we go and why?
Right. So Phil was saying that, and I have it up on the Secretary of State's website. Kate spoke about it as well, that there's a little bit north of 160,000 votes to be counted in the state of Pennsylvania or the Commonwealth. So Jake Tapper doesn't get after me. And right now, what we essentially see is that Biden has been winning that absentee vote by around 50 points statewide. If you apply that, what you would essentially get is Biden on the margin would net around 80,000, maybe a little bit more than that votes. And given where Donald Trump's lead is currently in the state, just a little bit south of 20,000, it seems to me if you apply the math and it follows through, that Biden would be leading at the end of this by somewhere in the neighborhood of about 60,000 votes statewide.
So at the end of the day, when all the vote is in Pennsylvania, it could be a 60,000 vote margin for Joe Biden.
It's a distinct possibility. Look, things would have to track as they've been tracking. But I think what Harry's talking about here, and I think Harry's being a little bit conservative probably in his estimate based on what we've seen, the batches come in over the course of the last 24 hours or so. Joe Biden hitting 72 or 73% in terms of margin with what comes in.
See, that's what I was
undershooting
talking
what he's
about
been
earlier.
hitting over the course of the last 24 hours.
Are you guys including the ballots that maybe, if we're going to exaggerate probabilities just for the safe part of hypothesis, may be vulnerable to judicial intervention? Are you including the ballots that come in after election day until today?
My understanding, and Harry, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the segregated ballots are separate from.
They're segregated, but being counted. I'm just wondering if in that number they're included.
That's basically makes up a very, very, very small portion. Most of the Democrats got the message that if you want to ensure that your vote by mail or your absentee ballot be counted, they got them in very early. From the Secretary of State, she essentially said that many of the smaller counties were receiving 0 ballots after Election Day, and even some of the large ones, it was basically within the hundreds. So that is really inconsequential to the math that we're talking about here.
Now, of course, this restriction doesn't apply to military ballots. Every state has
I
their
read
own
that
rules,
too.
but
I remember.
that would be a
I
different
heard something
situation.
about
The
that.
president wasn't careful about what he was saying about those ballots and seemed to be wanting to disenfranchise military. Nobody wants to do that. All right, so then we are waiting for the vote. And just to remind, wait, what about Nevada? What about Arizona? Absolutely. We haven't been getting the same quantity of information, but remember how big a piece in the puzzle these two states are. Where is the president's, what does the president have if he doesn't have Georgia?
Well, let's just talk about Georgia first. We've just been talking about Pennsylvania. Look at this. Overnight, if you're just waking up, Georgia turned blue about an hour ago. Joe Biden took a lead about an hour ago. About an hour ago, he took a 917 vote lead. Guess where it stands right now? He's added to it. And here's the reality. Now he's at 1,096 is the lead. And the biggest outstanding vote, all vote by mail, comes from a Democratic county, Gwinnett County. Somewhere over 4,500 ballots, we believe, are being counted and will be released at some point this morning, the tabulation of it. There are a couple Republican counties that are outstanding. But the reality is right now, that is a narrow lead. We'll have to see what happens. Eventually, there's going to be provisionals. There's going to be military ballots as well. But Joe Biden has a consequential lead with vote outstanding that is likely to lean Democrat in this state. And you said, why does Georgia matter? Why does Georgia matter? Obviously, we ran through why Pennsylvania is so important. Joe Biden wins Pennsylvania. It's ball game. That's lights out. Now, let's go through the map. Everything you see that is blue has been called for Joe Biden. Everything that you see that is red has been called for President Trump. For the sake of gaming this out, we will give President Trump Alaska. They'll take a little bit to count, expected to go Republican. North Carolina right now, Donald Trump has held a pretty solid lead, not a huge lead, 79,000 votes for a couple of days now. So we'll give that to him as well. We'll give him Maine 2, the single electoral vote right up here.
No, but I thought Biden
well.
got Maine.
What does that leave? It leaves Pennsylvania, it leaves Georgia, it leaves Arizona, it leaves Nevada.
Give him all of it except Georgia.
We'll give him Pennsylvania. We will give him Arizona. Right now, Joe Biden's leading in Arizona. It is narrowed. We'll see how that plays out when Maricopa reports in a couple hours. We'll give him Nevada. We'll see how that plays out as well. Clark is supposed to report this morning. Should go Democratic, but we'll see. Joe Biden
takes Georgia.
If Joe Biden wins Georgia, there is no pathway for President Trump to 270 electoral
through the Electoral College.
To
We'd
270
wind up in Constitution land, and the country would get a tutorial in a very severe process. All right, let's do this. Let's go to break. When we come back,
okay, we ain't giving him shit.
And when, please have a good morning and stay with CNN.
This is crazy. Oh, they split the electoral votes. Okay. This is wild, y'all. That would be some shit if we end up with a tie. Oh my goodness. That would be crazy. Welcome everybody coming in. Thank you for coming over. I just jumped on right quick when I got the news that Georgia, as for right now, at 6:15 Eastern time, is now blue. Oh my. Oh my. Interesting. 2020 has been an interesting year. Very, very, very interesting. Wait a minute, what? Called voter fraud hotline, asked about their cars extended. Oh Lord. Oh my goodness, this is just, it's hilarious. Oh, poor bitch boy. Yeah, bitch baby. Oh, yeah, baby Pally. You Pally again. You trying to call your boyfriend on me? Yeah, now your bitch is gonna have all the extra time in the world to be over there with you. Y'all can go horseback riding together. I'm just saying. But welcome everybody coming in. I know folks like, what the hell is she doing? But okay, like I said, I don't know why people aren't giving him Arizona yet, but okay, 253. Okay, he get Arizona. That takes him to 264. Add Georgia with day 16. That's 290. You done woke me up. You see, back. Yes. Quiet storm. Yes. At first I had came on my phone, but then they started breaking it down more. I was like, oh, let me get on here so I can share this screen. Wait a minute. It's because CNN wants to be very careful. I can understand it. He's leading in Nevada. So yeah. So $253. They give him Arizona. They put him at 264. He take Georgia. That's 290. That's game over. But let's go with the 253. Okay, he get the 16. That put it at 269. He take Pennsylvania with the 20 is over. So it's over. That'll be 289. It's bro. Oh, I got hiccups. I know, but the only somebody that's giving him. Okay, wait a minute.
Good morning to you, and what a night you missed. So I have to believe so many of us are awake around the clock because we are dealing with the future of our country here, and things are changing in real time all the time. And overnight, President Trump's path to becoming president again took a huge hit. Joe Biden made a move, and it is time for a key race alert. Georgia is now in the hands of Joe Biden. Will it stay there? We'll see. But overnight, he wound up taking a 1,096 vote lead, and there is more vote to come that could add to that. Remember, if Donald Trump does not win the state of Georgia, he cannot get 270 electoral votes. He cannot win this election in the Electoral College. Pennsylvania, 20 electoral votes. The
He's not even winning in the popular vote.
18,229 votes, but we have been told there is an offering from Philadelphia coming of counted ballots that could make a significant difference. Remember, Pennsylvania matters because if Joe Biden wins Pennsylvania, he is the next president of these United
Joe
States.
Biden
So what is the
the
reaction this morning to this development? Jessica Dean is in.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now.
With the Biden
Y'all ain't gonna be able to tell them Jamaicans
Pennsylvania
nothing.
could make a very big deal. Next to Jessica is Ryan.
You ain't gonna be able to
Nobles
say nothing
taking
to the
temperature
Jamaicans.
of Team Trump. So, Jessica, what do we hear?
Well, Chris, the Biden campaign says that they expect to win Pennsylvania by a sizable lead when this is all said and done. They've got their eye on those Philadelphia votes
Exactly.
that will be coming in. And remember, Pennsylvania, very personal for Joe Biden. He is Scranton Joe. After all, he really leaned into that with his Scranton versus Park Avenue messaging that he pitched to working class voters, really specifically in Pennsylvania and the upper Midwest. And he started his campaign in Pennsylvania and he ended it, closed it out there as well. So Pennsylvania, incredibly personal to Joe Biden. Georgia, also making a lot of news this morning. The campaign always saw Georgia and continues to see it as a true toss-up, but they believe it leans toward Vice President Biden. And to that end, they sent Vice President Biden back into Georgia in the week leading up to the election, where he gave that closing argument in Warm Springs, Georgia, talking about unity, talking about healing. They sent in Kamala Harris, and there at the end on Monday, right before Election Day, they sent in their most high-profile surrogate, President Barack Obama, to really rally people there in Atlanta. So again, they see it as a true toss-up, but they do think that Biden has the slight edge in Georgia. Will that all come to be? We'll find out once all these votes are counted out.
Jessica, thank you very much. You know, sometimes the picture tells the story. If you look at the background behind Jessica and then behind Ryan Nobles, she has a beautiful sunset coming up. Ryan Nobles not that far away, but a much darker dawn where you are. And may he rest in peace. Senator John McCain used to have a joke where he used to say, you know, when they say it's not darkest before dawn, he goes, yes, it is. It's pitch black. And overnight, some very dark news for the Trump campaign. What are we hearing?
You're right, Chris. The situation in Georgia has really changed the shape of this race for the Trump campaign. And let's be clear, the Trump campaign spent a lot of time and effort in the state of Georgia, expecting that to stay in the Republican column. And it will come as a shock to many Republicans that Joe Biden has taken the lead there, because the Trump campaign presented such a stance of confidence about their chances in Georgia. In fact, listen to what campaign manager Bill Stepien told me back in July, just after he'd been named campaign manager, about what was happening in Georgia. Take a listen.
Again, I invite the Democrats to spend a lot of money at the expense of the media market of Atlanta, and keep thinking it's for real. Because we had the same conversation in 2016.
So back in July, Stepien almost mocking Democrats for their investments in the state of Georgia, pointing to what happened in 2018, where Democrats narrowly lost the race for governor there. And then back in 2016, when President Trump was able to win there. That mocking looks very different now in the light of what the results are and what the results are coming in. We should point out, though, Chris, even though Republicans acted like there was no chance they could lose in Georgia, they spent a lot of time and money there, including what they described as their most precious resource. President Trump himself made multiple trips to the state of Georgia. He went there both in official capacity and as a candidate. In fact, he made 2 trips, 2 rallies there to Macon and Rome, Georgia, in the closing days of the campaign. Chris, at this point, it looks like it may not have been enough.
Ryan Nobles, thank you very much. Jessica Dean, thank you as well. Well, look, they haven't lost anything yet. Okay, let's bring in Michael Smerconish, David Gregory, and Laura Barone Lopez. Laura, in terms of the state of play, the headline is obvious. Joe Biden, for the moment, is in the lead in Georgia. So where does that take us for the campaigns today?
Right. I mean, as you were saying earlier, Chris, with Phil, that if Biden keeps the lead in Georgia, that appears to be the ball game. I mean, what Trump's path beyond that, if he doesn't win Georgia, is questionable. Of course, the president, as he forecasted last night with his unfounded claims, appears to be saying that he's not going to go quietly into the night.
He ain't got to. He ain't got to go quiet.
Suits.
He ain't got to go quiet, but he just gonna have to go.
Are also intimidating election workers in Arizona to a point that it's become dangerous for reporters to even stand outside of places in Maricopa County. And so, what happened?
Oh, come on. Come on now. A bitch boy's boyfriend is messing with my stuff.
The Secretary of State's a Republican. The entire infrastructure is. They put this into place. They haven't said anything about any irregularities, let alone some type of gross fraud. So not a great story. The bigger problem, to distract from that, all you have is Pennsylvania, and that is one and done for Biden. He holds on. You know the state very, very well. You call it home. Well, how do you see it?
So Pennsylvania reminds me of one of those old SAT questions where you're going from point A to point B and you're traveling X miles per hour. Now, when are you going to get to point B? Chris, you probably got those questions correct. I always got them incorrect.
The answer is always
in this scenario, Joe Biden is the faster car headed from A to B. And the only question is, when is he going to arrive? Bob Brady is a former member of Congress from Philadelphia. He remains the head of the Philadelphia Democratic City Committee. He sent out a press release at 1 a.m. and said Philadelphia's outstanding vote alone is going to close the gap that currently separates the candidates. You had Al Schmidt on within the last 30 minutes doing his job as a city commissioner, very by the book, saying, here are the numbers that are outstanding. Here's when we think they're going to drop. He can't provide you a projection of what it's going to mean. But Bob Brady's assessment is exactly that which you got from Phil Mattingly. It is a question of when, not a question of if, Joe Biden's going to win Pennsylvania.
So, David Gregory, now it leaves us with this very scary question, which is, what is the president going to do to stop this from happening? We can't believe he's not going to do anything. And I guess the legitimate route is legal challenge. Michael's a counselor also, but David, you know the area of the law very well. Not a lot of avenues based on absolutely no claims of problems except the ones that he had no proof for. So what do we have to think about in terms of what happens next?
Well, I think a couple of things. First of all, there's path A and path B to Biden's victory. And because there's 2 paths that he can take, it tends to take some of the steam out of the idea that it's all down to Pennsylvania, for example. That's important for Biden because it's important even for those around Trump. I mean, I don't expect anything of the president other than what we saw. Lies, accusations, inconsistencies. He's not complaining about the lead for Biden shrinking in Arizona, but he complains about what's going on in Pennsylvania. It doesn't make any sense, of course, and there's no evidence for it. What's the worst thing that they had to negotiate getting closer viewing for monitors in Philadelphia? Come on. There's no real evidence there. It doesn't make sense. And there's no real backup by Republicans except the kind of, truthers who are around the president, like his children, and Rudy Giuliani. So these are not serious people who are leading this charge. And so I think that's what's important. Biden is headed to victory in a couple of different ways. It doesn't mean there was a Democratic wave. It doesn't mean that this wasn't a tight election. But for Republicans in Washington, it's very clear where this is headed, and they're not backing Trump up. And that'll have an impact. Again, I don't expect him to somehow decide to be a statesman, meaning the president, but I think there'll be more pressure to say this isn't going to be a worthwhile avenue to try to fight this.
We will see. David Gregory, Mr. Smerconish, Ms. Barone Lopez, thank you very much to each and all. Michael, great to see you. Laura, thank you. Now, I'll tell you something that's very interesting here as we go into break. We are waiting for Pennsylvania to deliver votes from the all-important Philadelphia that has been hitting so hard for Democrats. I know so many are watching, and we're watching because it matters. This is not about the them of politicians. It's about the us of our democracy. We'll be right back.
I like him and his brother, and Trump can't stand him. And we're at break. Y'all not missing nothing. Where is this? Why is my... Okay. Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for coming over here. Oh, I'm probably just going to be on here for maybe another 30 minutes. I have to attempt to get some sleep. Oh, Lord. I tell you. It's wild over here. Wait, why is this not? Wait a minute. I want to share. Oh, here we go. I want to share some that I did. I think I got that. Wait a minute. I'm trying to. I want to run something right quick. I got to figure out how to. My sister know how to do this. My sister would know how to do this. But I think her and little DJ Cat. So I'm just going to have to run it. But yeah, I'm on TikTok too. Oh, this is interesting. I'm searching for some. But welcome everyone. Okay, let me see. Do I still have time to share this with y'all? Let me find my victory day. Oh Lord, it's funny. It's funny. Oh, let me go here. I might have to do it as a. Let me see what y'all saying in chat. I'm sorry. I've been trying to. Yes, he was. He was so arrogant. I fell asleep around there and woke right back up 30 minutes up. I went to lay down to go to sleep, and then this popped up that Georgia had turned blue. I was like, oh, wow. As soon as they come in, wait a minute, where's my water? Somebody stole my water. As soon as they show the results from Pennsylvania, I think I'm gonna end it now because I have got to try to get some sleep. Let me go here. Wait a minute. Why am I behind? Okay.
And it happened in Pennsylvania. Still, the president still ahead slightly there by about 18,000 votes. Big news coming out of Georgia, though, where Joe
Yeah, what is taking Nevada so long?
In case you're just waking up. Let's talk more about Pennsylvania, though. And the former Pennsylvania Governor Tom Ridge joins us, also the first Secretary of Homeland Security. Good morning, Secretary.
Don, Chris, good morning. It's been a long night for you folks, so I'm happy to join you.
Well, I'm glad that you're watching us, and I'm glad that you're joining us. I'm not sure if you heard the commissioner on CNN not long ago. Sorry about that. Not long ago, saying that he was expecting some vote counts coming out of the Philadelphia area. Not sure how many, maybe in the tens of thousands. Where do you think this race is right now in Pennsylvania?
Well, listen, first of all, I got to tell you, my stomach's been churning since the president's remarks last night, churning with both disgust and anger. And for me, it's not a political moment. It's about respecting the most sacred and fundamental institution in this democracy, and that's the electoral process. It's about respecting the millions of people who went to vote in person or absentee in the midst of the pandemic. It's killed 235,000 people. It's about respecting the Republicans and the Democrats who are going to the polls and those who are local elected officials that are working tirelessly to effectively deliver the vote. And for the President of the United States to say that there's fraud attendant to these absentee ballots is a baseless, bogus, unsubstantiated claim. And it's disrespecting everyone associated with this process. So I'm troubled by it. I'm like everybody else. Look, I got a favorite. President Biden was the first Democratic presidential candidate for whom I've ever cast a vote. I say that proudly. I'm still a lifelong Republican. But the bottom line is I'm prepared to accept the vote once all votes are counted. So let's let the process proceed. Mr. President, you don't call the election. I say respectfully, CNN and the networks don't call the election. Americans call the election, and then the states, not the federal government, certify it. So let's let the game continue.
I'm so glad that you said that. A lot of people were concerned and troubled by those remarks, as we all should be. The president undermining really a free and fair election in this country. Since you went there, and I just wanted to be clear, there haven't been any voting issues that you're aware of in Pennsylvania.
None whatsoever. You know, from time to time, whether it's Pennsylvania or anywhere else, Don, there's some maybe it's an imperfect system. I remember, I think it was the Heritage Foundation, a very conservative, well-regarded think tank, took a look back at over 20 years and saw like 200 cases of the ballot fraud being identified and prosecuted. But these claims have been bogus. I mean, by and large, if you take a look at what's going on in Philadelphia, which seems to be a pivotal point or focus of the president's attention or ire, you've got poll workers there, or poll watchers there, Republicans and Democrats. You got cameras all over the place. This may be the most transparent election because of the president's assertion months ago when he, and probably might even been part of the strategy, they formulated an opinion, they started articulating it months ago that said, if there's a delay post November 3rd, it means there'll be fraud. Well, Mr. President, there's a delay post November 3rd, not because there's a fraud, but because there's a pandemic. And give credit to governors, both Republicans and Democrats, who work tirelessly within their states to provide safe and secure in-person balloting opportunities and absentee ballot opportunities. Let the absentee ballots be counted. Live with the results. Let America voices speak. They're the only ones that count anyhow, Mr. President.
Well, listen, I'm so glad you spoke about that. And also, just so our viewers know, you're not just saying this now. You tweeted out earlier, you said the president disrespected every single American
who figured out a way to safely vote amid a pandemic that has taken 235,000 lives. Absolutely shameful. I'm glad you're speaking out. I'm sure America's glad you're speaking out. I just have to ask you, though, one quick question. As a Republican, when you hear these attacks on our democracy, are these the new opening arguments for the new Republican Party?
Well, it remains to be seen. Although there's a lot of unrest and uneasiness within the
every
party.
damn lawsuit that they
I
done
think they're
filed
gonna
and
have
got
to,
thrown out.
post-election, they're going to do some real soul searching and see whether or not.
CNN is going in and out.
In agreement with you. Governor and Secretary Tom Ridge, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Well.
Thank you.
We're watching Pennsylvania very, very closely. We expect major news out of Pennsylvania very soon. It could happen in minutes. And in Georgia, Biden is stunning right now. He's stunning the Trump camp this morning because he is ahead. Don't go anywhere.
With SoFi.
And I'm back. Yeah, it got too cocky. That's what happened. Got you upside. And they have been saying that those, and see, this is how cocky this fucker is. They have been saying, and this is why he had been trying to stop that mail in and all and all that. That the actual election night results are going to be mostly Republican. And that the mail-in was just going more than likely be for Biden. Now he's talking about that's cheap. Well, I mean, these are laws that were set. Like with Pennsylvania, they got up to 3 days, I think. They could still accept ballots the 3 days after the election. That law was in place before you even ran. And then they folks talking about he talking about if he do lose, he'll run again in 2024. You would be. I'm like, boy, bye. Oh, but I thank y'all for coming over and welcome everybody that's coming in. Thank y'all for those thumbs up. Thank you for that click and that view. I'm supposed to be sharing this. Damn it, I'm over here running my mouth. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Okay. I'm gonna do this. I just want to share this little thing. Share. Can y'all see that? Okay. Let me go here.
We lost part of ourselves. Today we have a chance to take it all back. You know your teams, you know your missions. Get the stones, get them back. 1 round trip each. No mistakes, no do-overs. Most of us are going somewhere we know. That doesn't mean we should know what to expect. Be careful. Look out for each other. This is the fight of our lives. And we're going to win. Whatever it takes.
This is our moment. This is our mission.
Assemble.
I just found that cute. I love that. I love that. If y'all been following me in the town, y'all know how I feel about my Marvel. I had to slip the Avengers in there. Now let me go here. Let me go here. I think I should have went directly to the website. I think that's where I'm messing up at. But yeah, I think I should have went straight to the. You're about to lose your job. Yeah, you about to. Oh Lord. You know it's bad. I'm gonna go straight to their website. This is pissing me off. I forgot who I saw that had did that. I was like, oh man. I think because it was an older white person. Well, shit. Full screen. Go back.
Joe Biden took the lead in Georgia from President Trump. How and can he hold it? Pennsylvania is going to give us votes. Why does it seem like it will change hands as well? And what does this mean for who gets to 270 and when? All good questions. Thank God for you, because I can't answer any of them. Let's start with Georgia. How did it change hands?
Yeah, look, we've been digging in on the county level for the last couple of hours, but the big picture here is what's so important. Say Joe Biden ends up winning the state of Georgia. What does that mean going forward? Well, we know that President Trump is leading in the state of North Carolina right now. We know that he might win Alaska. He's probably going to end up winning Alaska. So we'll go ahead and give those to him just for the sake of playing this out. Now, we expect Joe Biden to overtake President Trump's lead in Pennsylvania soon. But what if somehow President Trump finds the votes to hang on to Pennsylvania? What if he wins Arizona? Right now, he's trailing in Arizona. What if he comes back? He's been narrowing the margin. What if he wins Nevada? Trailing by about 11,000 votes in Nevada. We'll see what happens there. But for the sake of argument, and he goes ahead and wins Maine's second congressional district. Look, that's not enough.
You're in Constitution zone of that whole process about what happens here. And it all starts with Georgia. And the problem with Georgia for President Trump, not just because it is this linchpin, but it's a horrible narrative point for him, because this toxic soup that he was ladling out for everybody last night is defeated by the reality in Georgia. So it's cheating. So it's fraud. It's not just that you don't have the votes. Republican governor, Republican Secretary of State, Republican infrastructure, no claims of fraud. No claims of irregularities except the ones that were made up by our president. So not a great story for him on top of not a great reality. Now, Pennsylvania, why do we focus on it as one and done for Biden?
Well, just take a look. Say President Trump comes back and wins Georgia. Wins Georgia. I don't know why it's not moving right now. The reality.
Make it do your will.
No, it's finally freaking out on me after all this time.
Y'all tripping.
Here's the bottom line. If Joe Biden wins the state of Pennsylvania, Joe Biden's at 253 electoral votes right now. That is all Joe Biden needs. The map is acting up on us right now. It's given up on us after about 30 hours.
Start to do the right thing.
Here's the reality. Here's the numbers. Joe Biden is at 253 electoral votes. Pennsylvania is 20 electoral votes. In short order, we expect, based on what's outstanding and how the vote has been coming in, that Joe Biden will overtake President Trump in the state of Pennsylvania. If that holds based on what's outstanding, that is 273 electoral votes. You can give President Trump everything outstanding on the map, whether it's Alaska or Nevada or Arizona, Maine 2, North Carolina, and Georgia. If Joe Biden wins Pennsylvania, it's over. That's the ball game. Here's the one wild card that I want to throw out there. That is, right now, Vice President Biden is leading in Georgia. He's leading in Arizona. He's leading in Nevada. He will likely soon be leading in Pennsylvania. Why does all that matter? That's 306 electoral votes. If he's able to hold on to all of those right now, we don't know that that's going to be the case. Still counting votes, still waiting.
I love how every time they go talking about Mango and how many ways he can lose.
Well, given everything we've
his
seen over
boyfriend
the course
Putin.
of the last couple of days.
There's a good chance that this will get ugly early. And I think it's important that people are aware of that. The president is looking at this through the lens of addition through subtraction. How can he get rid of votes? Remember, this isn't about him. It's about our democracy. Let's take a quick break. We'll figure out what Phil did to the wall, and we'll be right back.
Yeah. So, if I heard them correct, Biden gets Pennsylvania, it's over. Because that's 253, and they verify, that's over. It really should be over now. See, because the Associated Press is giving Biden, already gave him Arizona, which is why they're sitting at 264. Actually, it should be over now. If they verify, if he holds on to that lead, hell, if he will hold on to that lead in Georgia, it's a wrap. That's 290. If he's sitting at 264 with Arizona. So we are going to see, but things are looking much better than they were this time yesterday. And especially this time on election night. Oh. But everybody, as usual, I appreciate all y'all coming over here. I appreciate the click and the view. I'm trying to see, because honestly, I do need to log off, then go lay down and try to get some sleep. Or I'll be looking at almost 24 hours and that's not good. But I know, I got a feeling as soon as I log off, lay down, then they'll come with Pennsylvania. So I'm going to hang in there. But y'all, here's the thing. This holds up. Biden gets elected. We gonna be in the broke history, made history twice within, you about to say 16 years? Because we've been ahead a black president and a black female vice president. Yeah, it did come down to the and I hope the Biden-Harris administration understand that. Yeah, black and Latino and Asians, people of color, got y'all elected. So y'all need to the first thing need to be getting a handle on Hay 19, getting a handle on that so that folks can start back, in the last 12 years. Then trying to do some, I would say one more stimulus package to boost up the economy again. To be honest, Kamala Harris was the only person fit to be president, in my opinion. Yeah. Because when she first announced that she was running, I was with her. Because that's homegirl, Oaktown. That's my homegirl from Oakland.
We're back now. Look at that live shot. That's a live shot in Wilmington, Delaware. That's where the acceptance speech was supposed to happen on Tuesday night, possibly, but it's been this way for 3 days. It's cars. How long have these cars been out there? They just park? Who knows? I'm back now with the group here, Andrew Yang, S.E. Cupp, and John Avalon. So here, listen, think about all the things that happened overnight, right? I mean, I think this has been, since election night, probably the night that's had, or morning that's had the most twists and turns, don't you think? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, certainly if you're looking at Georgia, and we're watching Pennsylvania very closely, it's been a couple of days of stasis on like a razor's edge. But I think it's really important to point out, this is all happening the way Trump demanded it happen, right? He told his voters to go out and vote in person on election day. They did. He wanted his votes counted right away, not days later. They have been. The fact that the process he demanded isn't like rigging it for him isn't a conspiracy. It's just like a bad self-own.
He did it to himself, right? Yeah. It's a bad self-own. And also, again, telling people, wait till the day. Well, he may have gotten more votes had he told more people to get it in early.
And they wouldn't be coming in disproportionately, Joe Biden, at this point. It's in the context of a pandemic that was mismanaged, absentee up, demonizing mail-in ballots, and this is what you've wrought. And there's also some poetic irony in that it's John Lewis's district in Georgia and the Atlanta metro area coming through. It's John McCain and Cindy McCain campaigning for Biden in Arizona. It's Joe Biden's home state of Pennsylvania, hard fought. And everybody better break out the Ray Charles, because we're going to have Georgia on the mind, not just today as these votes come in, but the special election coming up.
We were doing lots of analysis last time we were here yesterday morning about what Democrats needed to do. Tom Ridge, you saw the former governor there of Pennsylvania, and the first Homeland Security Secretary saying Republicans have to do some soul searching as well. Especially, he was very strong saying what the president is saying and doing about this fraudulent election and so on, that it's being stolen. It was terrible. He should not be doing it. But Republicans really need to have a come to Jesus about where their party's going as well, regardless of who's in the White House.
Exactly. They do, but we should get used to saying President-elect Joe Biden, because the math says that today is going to be a day to celebrate for millions. Joe, you did it. Thank you, Joe. Yes. We're back, America. Let's call it. We gotta do the math. Do the math, Andrew.
Wait a minute. From the guy who has the math?
Yeah.
People
the math is heading in a very clear direction. The math guy says that we should get used to President-elect Joe Biden. The Trump era is receding, and there's going to be a celebration
Just like his hairline.
today.
Welcome.
Thank
Let's
you.
show the stage in Wilmington, Delaware. If it indeed goes away, that Andrew Yang says or believes that is going, he's all excited about it. By the way, we're going to take away his coffee or Red Bull or whatever he's drinking over there. He's a little excited. This is where they'll be giving the acceptance speech. But do you think the occupant of the White House is going to be giving a condolence speech, if it not a concession speech, if it indeed goes the way that Andrew says? It's not over yet.
Not anytime soon. But can I just address something that Tom Ridge said? I thought what he said was really important as a Republican of a certain era.
Yeah.
When we talk about like a fog of war and history, reimagining the way things look years later. I think the Iraq War looks worse than it did when almost every Democrat voted for it, for example. There will be no fog of war to lift after this. What the president said last night will not look different or better in 5-10 years. What
it's going to look messed up.
Break democracy. It looks bad now.
And that's going to
look bad later.
I got to get us out of here. Got to get to the breaks. Got to get to the top of the hour. Chris, it has been an amazing time to.
Okay. Alrighty. But yeah, going back to right here. I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking the same thing. And I want to is that Sagittarius? Welcome, baby. Thank you for coming over. Well, I'm getting tired of this one. Let me see if I can do it this way, y'all. Georgia. Oh, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of folks with Georgia on their mind. And I didn't even think about that. But John Lewis district, that's screwing them. And then not Cindy McCain. Get out of here. Get out of here. And John McCain state. And don't get me wrong. Now, I appreciate it, but his daughter is a bitch. What you say? Okay, I'm gonna get some sleep. The sun coming up, so I'm gonna close my eyes and pretend I'm asleep until I fall asleep. Okay. Thank you for stopping by, baby. Okay. You are. No, I'm not trying to preview shit. I'm trying to go live.
meet Mr. Meter. He's here to show you how Gas South is a different kind of natural.
Shut up. Okay, hopefully this would be better. I do not care about What the hell are y'all doing? You know what? Yeah, him must win. He must win. Wait a minute. Let me see. It's what, 7 o'clock? Oh, I see Wolf is on. Him gonna be mad. Yeah. Him gonna be mad. Him gonna throw a temper tantrum. Wait a minute. Yeah, he's still leading by 1,096. Okay, let me bring this. Ooh, he gonna have a fit. He is gonna have a fit. I haven't been able to get no sleep. I ain't even try to do it to myself. This computer.
Who's the next president of the United States?
And already the overnight trends have made a big difference on the map, Wolf. If anyone tried to get a little bit of sleep, I don't know why you would try to do that this week. Right there. Georgia was red. At midnight, it is blue at sunrise this morning here on the East Coast. And that tells you the changing dynamics of this race. Pennsylvania remains red. We'll take a closer look at the numbers now. By all indications, with
I don't know why this thing is doing this. I don't know why Putin. I guess Putin don't want no bad news on his boyfriend.
Of 1,096. In Georgia, there are still 10,000, about approximately, outstanding ballots to be counted. The president now must win about 56%, more than 55% of those ballots to eclipse that lead, about 10,000. But we also know, and we watched this play out yesterday, if you were with us, in methodical fashion. Those ballots are coming in. They're mail-in ballots. They are disproportionately, predominantly Democratic ballots. That's why Joe Biden caught the president, passed the president, and every indication is he will continue to build what is a very modest, but still a very significant lead. As you pull back out to the map here and you look at Georgia, we'll do the other map in a minute, but if Georgia stays blue, the president of the United States cannot get to 270 electoral votes. The best he could do was 269. We'll get through that. That's unlikely as well. But the president, if that stays blue, cannot get to 270 electoral votes. He would absolutely not even be able to get close, not close enough, if Pennsylvania flips. And look right there. Again, the president right now has a lead of 18,229 votes in Pennsylvania, about 163,000 votes still to be counted, most of them in Democratic strongholds, about 50,000 of them right here in the city of Philadelphia, where you can see at home, Joe Biden is winning more than 80% of the vote. And as these mail-in ballots are counted, he's winning an even higher percentage because remember, Democrats voted disproportionately by mail. Republicans voted disproportionately on election day. You pull this back out, that lead once above 600,000 votes. The president is crying foul. He's crying cheating. This is math. The election day votes were counted first. See all these red areas in the state. The president did a fantastic job of turning out his vote. They were counted. He built a big lead. The mail-in ballots, state choice being counted last. They didn't want to be overwhelmed on election day, so they dealt with that first. Now they're counting the mail-in ballots. And again, Wolf, just like in Georgia, this has just been methodical and steady. And we've just watched the president's lead shrink. And again, every expectation here is that when these come in, some of these other counties around here, there are also nearly 40,000, about 36,000 ballots to be counted out here. Allegheny County, Pittsburgh, you can see Joe Biden winning nearly 60% of the vote of the votes that have been counted in Allegheny County so far. And again, I don't want to be a broken record, but I just want to make sure people understand in the mail-in ballots as they count them, it's disproportionately higher than that even. It's 70%, often approaching 80%. So when you pull the map out now, you see Joe Biden leading in Georgia, Joe Biden coming closer and closer in Pennsylvania. We expect that one to change. And Joe Biden still leading out in Nevada and Arizona. We're waiting for the two states out here in the Southwest. We're waiting for them to keep counting, but Joe Biden has leads as well. We should note, to be fair, the president has closed this lead somewhat. Joe Biden's lead at 47,000. The trend in Georgia and Pennsylvania has been, as they count the late ballots, Joe Biden has been eclipsing the president, closing it in Pennsylvania, passing him in Georgia. We need to watch Arizona. The president has narrowed that lead, and we should keep an eye on it. But just again, if you left last night thinking, where are we? Nothing changed here yesterday in terms of we had no states to project yesterday. So we remain at 253 for Joe Biden, 213 for the president of the United States, 270 get you to the finish line. Let's underscore the significance of where we are. If that one stays blue, Joe Biden gets to 269. Joe Biden is leading here and leading here. If he holds those leads, he is over the top. But watch. The West, again, the states out west will get more votes later throughout the day. If Joe Biden wins that, it is not only game over, it is game over with an exclamation point. This was the biggest prize. When the president cracked the blue wall 4 years ago, Donald Trump won Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Wisconsin and Michigan are in Joe Biden's hands right now in 2020. And Pennsylvania, again, within a matter of minutes, could well go blue. The president is saying he's going to sue. He is alleging fraud. He has every right to make his case in court. We have seen zero evidence as yet on the public record that any of those allegations are true.
Let's check in what's going on in Pennsylvania. 20 electoral votes in Pennsylvania. If Biden were to win Pennsylvania, those 20, he would be elected president, even if he didn't win any other state. Kate Baldwin is joining us from Philadelphia right now. So, Kate, what are you seeing on the ground? What are you hearing?
Well, the sun's coming up, Wolf, and we are told from sources inside, the folks in charge, that it has been a full court press to get this done here in Philadelphia. The latest from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is there are 163,000 outstanding ballots. 50,000 of those that are left to be counted are here in Philadelphia, being processed still in the convention center behind me by some 100 plus workers who are working in 8-hour shifts to get it done. The updates have been coming in, if I can call them, chunks of several thousand. And one of the city commissioners in charge has said that they expect an update to be loaded up in the next couple minutes. And we are definitely waiting for that. Also, I do have an update on some of the other ballots coming in that could become key after as things will be wrapping up in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. They have now, they believe, between 15,000 and 20,000 provisional ballots here in Philadelphia. Those segregated ballots that arrived after Election Day here in Philadelphia, it's been a few hundred over the past couple days. They do not describe it as a significant number. They are shrink wrapped, I found out, Wolf, shrink wrapped, set aside, time stamped, date stamped when they were received in order to protect their security. Those segregated ballots have not been counted yet, but we should be expecting an update on the numbers in Philadelphia. The numbers of mail-in ballots counted, which will tell us how many are outstanding, which can tell us a lot about where this race stands and is headed this morning, Wolf.
Very quickly, Kate, if there are 50,000 outstanding ballots in Philadelphia, where you are, will they be released all 50,000 at the same time, or will it be piecemeal?
I'm told not to expect in this next update, to not expect the entire 50,000 to be uploaded in this coming update. The way it has gone overnight is an area of 5,000 votes being counted in one update and something around that regard. So it would not surprise me if it's something in the area of several thousand to be uploaded, but I was definitely told not to expect that the entire universe of outstanding mail-in ballots here in Philadelphia, 50,000, not to expect that to be the next update.
All right, Kate, stand by. You know, John, if that 50,000 number is accurate, we believe it is accurate. If the whole thing were to be released at some point in the next hour, 2 hours, or whenever, what would that do to the lead in Pennsylvania right now?
All right, so let's start on Philadelphia, and you see Joe Biden is getting 80%, more than 80% of the vote consistently. And again, as they count the mail-in ballots, that percentage has actually been higher most of the time when we get those allocations of the mail-in ballots as they count them. So if you think about it, that he's getting 80% of the vote, the president has an 18,000 vote lead. If you put 50,000 ballots into the system and Joe Biden is getting 80,000 of them, well, then Joe Biden would be leading in Pennsylvania just on the Philadelphia vote alone. 50,000 votes there, Kate said. That still leaves about 113,000 other votes coming in. And we just watched this play out yesterday. We're going to watch these votes. We're going to count these votes. There are transparent eyes, Democrats, Republicans, reporters in all of these rooms. So if something changes in the president's favor, we will show it to you as quickly as it happens. But methodically throughout the day, as the mail-in ballots have come in, they're coming in. We just said Philadelphia. More came in overnight in Bucks County. You see what's happening. And again, in the mail-in ballots, Joe Biden is getting higher percentage than that in the mail-in ballots. That's the total vote, including the president's vote. But we've seen growth there. We've seen growth here in Montgomery County. We've seen growth for Joe Biden as they've counted votes in Chester County. And we've seen votes for Joe Biden as they've counted votes in Delaware County. The suburban core around Philadelphia is vote rich. It's critical to the Democrats as they count the mail-in ballots. We've watched that happen.
Okay, I'm sick of Putin trying to help his little boyfriend save face. Hey, Heavy. Hey, welcome, Heavy Bear.
Yeah, Erie County. This started the day yesterday, late into the night yesterday. This was still red, and you see it's still very close, 49.6 to 48.7. But again, they still have some ballots outstanding to count here. Every update that came from Erie County yesterday was lopsided. Disproportionately, Joe Biden, Democrats voted by mail. The president got his vote on election day. He's getting a small percentage of these mail-in ballots, which is what he wanted. Remember, the president campaigned several rallies in Pennsylvania, told his people to swarm to the polls on election day, and they did. The president's overall vote totals in Pennsylvania, look at that now, 3.28 million, 2.9 million. This is not a question of the president's vote not turning out. The president turned out a lot of voters. Those ballots were counted on election day. Joe Biden turned out a lot of voters. Those ballots are still being counted. And again, within moments when we get Philadelphia. But remember, it's not just Philadelphia. We have votes from Lehigh Valley to come in, and we have votes out here in the western part of the state, 36,000 more out here. They've been coming in lopsided for Joe Biden. Simple math tells you the president's 18,000 vote lead is almost certain to be eclipsed in the hours ahead, perhaps even the minutes ahead as these votes come in. And again, to the significance of it, absolutely no way. The president cannot win re-election unless he carries both of these states. Georgia has turned blue. Pennsylvania is on a path to turn blue. That would put Joe Biden in command of this race. The president reserves the right for legal challenges, recounts, and the like. But today is likely to be a most decisive day in this race.
Indeed, it is. Alexandra Field is joining us from Pittsburgh right now. Allegheny County, Alexandra.
Okay, wait a minute. Here we go.
Another key county over there. What are you seeing? What are you hearing over there?
Indeed, Wolf, a lot of the uncounted vote in Pennsylvania is right here in Allegheny County. In fact, it's in the warehouse just behind me. The county is going to get to work today, counting some 35,000 at least outstanding ballots. These are mail-in ballots right here in Allegheny County, a blue spot in the western part of the state. What we know about these ballots are that at least 6,800 of them were ballots that didn't initially go through the machines since Election Day when the county began counting votes. That's because they could include some errors, they could be damaged, they have to be reviewed by hand. Shortly, a return board will be sworn in. Their job in that factory today will be to manually inspect each of those 6,800 ballots. But the big share of the ballots that are still outstanding, some 29,000, well, the county won't get to work counting those ballots until about 5 o'clock this afternoon. Those are ballots that were set aside. They were originally sent out incorrectly. There was an incorrect ballot that was sent out to some 29,000 people in Allegheny County. The county quickly reissued the ballots, but they agreed by court order to set those ballots aside to wait until 5 o'clock today, Friday, to begin counting them. So we could get counts of as many as 35,000 ballots when you put those together. The county says they have also received several hundred ballots that were postmarked by Election Day that are able to arrive until today. They haven't counted those yet, so that could add to the total number here. And there are estimates that they could have as many as 15,000 provisional ballots still outstanding that they would need to count as well. So certainly a large share of votes that are still to come from Allegheny County. These are votes that are expected to disproportionately, of course, favor Biden because of all those demographic trends that John King has walked you through. Again, the blue spot here in a red part of the state. Wolf?
Very important information, Alexandra.
Wow.
Thanks very much. So 35,000 outstanding votes in Allegheny County. John, 50,000 outstanding votes in Philadelphia. That's 85,000 votes in those two areas right there, and they're disproportionately in favor of Biden.
They've been coming in 80% for Joe Biden. And again, we will watch to see if that trend changes. We will certainly tell you if the president is doing anything, the president's vote count is doing anything that suggests the momentum of the race has changed, but has just been steady and consistent. You see 18,000 right there. That's the lead right now. As you noted, 36,000 ballots out here, some of them to be counted soon, some of them likely by the end of the day. 50,000 ballots here in Philadelphia, more ballots in the suburban core around it. Also, some ballots up here in the Lehigh Valley, Allentown, Pennsylvania. I'm clicking through this. You can follow the numbers or you can follow your eyes. Everything I'm touching is blue and growing increasingly blue, Democratic, as they count the ballots. So ballots here, ballots here, ballots here, and ballots here. Right? And so you see in these blue areas, that's where we know the overwhelming majority of these 163,000 votes yet to be counted are. But I just also want to make this point and reinforce it. We were counting ballots yesterday in places like this, Luzerne County. They're up to the finish now. Even in places the president is winning, here it's 57%. There are other counties where the president is winning with 70%, Trump country in Pennsylvania, and there's a lot of it. But when they're counting the mail-in ballots, even in these communities, you see Joe Biden's getting 42% of the vote. But in the ballots counted late, meaning the mail-in ballots, he's getting much higher than that. So even in the red counties, that in the end will be overwhelmingly for President Trump, in this late vote count, the mail-in ballots, Joe Biden is racking up. He's when you get these, if you get 500 votes from a place like this now, it's disproportionately Biden because Democrats voted by mail. The president's vote has largely been counted because that was the way he wanted it. He rallied. He said, don't vote by mail. I don't trust it. His people came out, to his credit. Again, that's a big vote. It's in excess of his vote 4 years ago. But Democrats also voted in huge numbers. And as we count those votes, again, an 18,000 vote lead, 163 out. We all watched how this played out yesterday. The lead for the president here, once above 600,000. As they've counted the mail-in ballots, it shrunk. And when we get those from Philadelphia, certainly, it is likely to disappear. And Joe Biden will take the lead. And then we'll watch it play out throughout the day.
This thing is killing me. It's killing me. It's killing me. It is killing me. Well, y'all, I've been on a little over 2 hours. I'm going to go try to lay down and close my eyes because I've been up for a minute. I appreciate y'all coming over here. Thank y'all for the thumbs up. Thank y'all for the likes, for the hearts over there on this Facebook page. Like I said, I'm finna lay it down for a little bit. If anything else changes, if they officially give Biden Pennsylvania, I'll come back on with that. I want to thank both of my moderators that came over here, Indigo Forever and DJ Cat. I am for real, Neil. I'm going to go try to get some rest now. Y'all just make sure the notifications is on. So when I find out something, I'll bring it to you all. You all enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe out there, and I will be talking to y'all later.